Good morning, everybody. I felt really honoured this morning to be referred to as a Passivhaus rock star. My last presentation, I was referred to as a Passivhaus veteran, so maybe I can combine them both as a Passivhaus veteran rock star, but we'll see. So this morning, I'm going to give you a little bit of an insight in regard to one of Exeter City Council's largest Passivhaus projects to date. We're going to really focus on our new leisure centre, which is called St Sidwell's Point, which is currently under construction. Now, before I kick off and really focus on St Sidwell's, just to give you a little bit of an insight really into what we've been doing at Exeter. We've been developing Passivhaus for the last 10 years. We've delivered just over 100 Passivhaus homes across the city. Most of those have been predominantly for affordable tenants. But I can certainly verify a lot of things that both Thomas and Marie have touched upon this morning. We have tenants that have been living in their Passivhaus homes for the last 8 years, and over 60% of those tenants haven't actually needed to switch their heating on at all. So when we talk about energy efficiency and when we talk about fuel poverty, we've got concrete evidence, because we monitor all our new builds, that we are delivering truly high-performing energy-efficient homes. And there's no reason, while using the physics of Passivhaus, that cannot be applied to any other building type. So this morning I'm going to give you a whistle-stop tour of how we're applying those Passivhaus principles to deliver what will be the UK's first certified Passivhaus leisure centre and the third in the world. Now, for all the projects that we deliver at Exeter, we ensure that we meet the triple bottom line principles, and by that we mean we want to deliver all our new developments so that they are financially sensible and financially viable, offering value for money. After all, we are using public money. We also want to ensure that all our new developments are socially responsible and also environmentally responsible. And one of the drivers for adopting Passivhaus is that it uniquely addresses all those three triple bottom line principles. So all our new build properties are healthy, and Passivhaus contributes a long way towards developing healthy buildings. We also work with building biologists to ensure that we deliver all our buildings to meet a German building biology standard. We also want all our buildings to be climate ready. Exeter is home of the Met Office, so it would be unremiss of us not to develop all new buildings to be at least climate resilient to 2080. And again, Passivhaus goes a long way to deliver a high degree of climate resilience within our new buildings. And finally, we want all our buildings to be cast iron low energy. And the only standard, which is an international standard, that will absolutely deliver to that is the certified Passivhaus standard. Now, the St Sidwell's Point project has been in inception for the last 6 years. It involves quite a large collaborative team. The slide gives you an overview of the key players within that team. The Passivhaus Institute, based in Germany, are one of the core players within that team, because there isn't yet a Passivhaus design standard for leisure centres in the UK. So they will be developing the standard as a consequence of our building being delivered on site. We have a main contractor on site at the moment, that's Kier Construction, and we're looking forward to completion in our first swims by December 2020. So we've got a little bit of time to get body beautiful, but we are on target to deliver and be open for the new year of 2021. So the drivers behind this particular leisure centre is it's very much a gateway project for the city. It's part of an urban regeneration area within the city centre, which has formerly been a coach station layover area and bus station. So the City Council is delivering a brand new leisure facility along with a new bus station, and the remainder of the site is currently under a development study for a large-scale mixed-use commercial residential development as well. So in terms of the makeup of the specification for a leisure centre, this slide gives you an overview. So it contains both swimming pools as well as dry side sports in the form of gym facilities, as well as flexible areas for spinning studios, yoga and the like. We do have a children's creche and soft play area, cafe, and the usual changing facilities. This building will incorporate all the environmental factors, so that includes being certified passive house, and it has a budget of £35 million. Its overall approximate size is about 9,000 square metres. Now, why did we choose Passive House for a leisure centre? Well, partly it made business sense to us. We'd been developing Passive House for 10 years. We knew it was tried and trusted. It had over-delivered on our ambitions and our aspirations. And when it comes to a leisure centre, particularly when you're involving swimming pools, these are pretty energy-guzzling buildings. They require high energy with regard to heating water and heating the building in terms of containing the condensation. They require quite a varied range of temperature. You know, we've got swimming in one area, and we've got gyms in another area where you're requiring a much cooler temperature. Also, swimming pools typically create or require a high level of humidity, and that has the impact of having quite a corrosive effect on the fabric of the building and the materials that we use. So we wanted to really test Passive House and our building biology principles to deliver a building that really met our high performance requirements. So why is Passive House so effective in a swimming pool and leisure centre context? Well, first and foremost, our previous speakers, Thomas and Anne-Marie, have talked a lot about the envelope of the building and the main fabric of the building. And certainly from a swimming pool perspective, we can reduce the overall energy by typically about 20 to 25% just by taking those fabric wins. The other advantage is Passive House enables us to have a far higher internal surface temperature. Because of building physics, nothing will fall below 18 degrees. The design enables us to minimise thermal bridging. Thomas has picked up a lot on that in terms of the high-rise in New York. And that has the advantage of reducing condensation risk, which is a pretty key criteria when we're looking at wet pool areas. And of course, Passive House guarantees you a high degree of thermal comfort. So that is an integral part of the real brief behind ensuring that we deliver a comfortable and efficient building for both our occupiers and users of the building, but also those people that work there and service the building. So as well as having that sort of fabric-first approach and the initial energy savings that give us, Passive House also gives us some additionality. And we do that by the intrinsic energy efficiencies that this approach provides for us. Now, by having a high degree of insulation and an airtight building, so again, that submarine analogy, we're able to maintain high levels of relative humidity across the pool areas, typically averaging 64%. Now, this helps us to dramatically reduce the evaporation rate from those pool areas. So not only are we increasing our energy efficiencies, but also reducing quite dramatically our water usage. The high quality Passive House ventilation systems that get integrated in all Passive House buildings means that we have a very efficient ventilation control systems. This means that there's a reduced electrical demand, which again reduces the overall energy efficiency, overall energy use of the building. So, for example, we don't need to provide heating to the facade of our glazing in the pool areas because the physics of the buildings enables that to be omitted completely. So the overall effect is that we can reduce the overall percentage of energy usage of a Passive House leisure centre by about anything between 65 and 87%. So what are the key design elements of a Passive House leisure centre? Well, we've talked about the building fabric. We need high-performing windows and doors. That's no different to any other Passive House building, whether it's residential or commercial. We have a high level of air tightness. Again, the same for all Passive House buildings. I think the only distinct feature in this building is because of its leisure use, we do have distinctive internal zoning. So we do have pools that are warm and wet, and then of colder and cooler exercise zones on the north face of the building. We need to ensure that we have a compact building form that allows us to have a cost-effective design to the building. And as ever, we're trying to optimize solar orientation of the building so we can maximize those free energy that we get from solar heat gains. This is particularly important in the swimming pool areas. And this will probably be one of the first swimming pool developments in the UK that actually has south-facing swimming pools as opposed to typically the north-facing ones. So we talk a lot about energy. And for us as a public sector body, we want to offer value to money, not only because we're using the public purse, but we also want to ensure that we've got value for money throughout the revenue runnings of this building. Arup are our mechanical and electrical engineers for this project, and they've been pretty conservative in their energy usage assumptions. And at the moment, the building is modelled to deliver at least a 65% saving to energy use. We know from the 2 other swimming pools that have been delivered to Passivhaus standard in Germany that they are currently achieving energy efficiencies in excess of 85%. So what does that mean from a council perspective and revenue costs? Well, that means that our energy running costs per square metre drop from approximately £57, which are at today's rates, to below £20 per square metre. So for a leisure centre of this size, you're typically looking at savings in excess of £200,000 per year. And that had a significant bearing on the business plan for this particular facility. But Passivhaus is so much more than energy. It provides us with a cost-effective, very much business plan favourable building, but it also provides a number of other benefits related to climate resilience and healthiness. In terms of climate resilience, we want to ensure that our building performs throughout the year and that we're not affected by additional energy costs associated with cooling. So by modelling the building through the Passivhaus planning package and by working with climate scientists at Exeter University, this building has been modelled to ensure that it will fulfil all anticipated climatic changes up to 2080. And we've been able to model those business case assumptions within our financial modelling for the building. So again, it's allowing us to have the confidence that we've got a building that can be modelled financially, not just for its capital build, but for the revenue running costs over its next 80 years. Also, by containing and controlling the climate within the building to match changing external climate conditions, we're able to create a much more comfortable internal environment for our users and our occupants. Not just in terms of air quality, because air quality in all Passivhaus buildings is truly exceptional, but also in terms of the air quality through the filtration systems that will remove not just external particulates and not only external particulates and pollution, but also when we look at how we can filter the water within the swimming pool areas. So as a bolt-on to the Passivhaus standard works that we're doing, using our building biology principles, the leisure centre will be the first leisure centre in the UK to omit chlorine in its use of pool cleansing systems and to use ultrafiltration. This is a system that is very commonly used on the continent, but it's not something that we tend to adopt in the UK because operators tend to find it more expensive. Again, within the business case modelling of this building, we know that by improving the internal comfort and quality of internal environment, we anticipate to have a greater number of users that will use the facility for a longer period of time, not just for dry side sports, but also for water sports. And by not having a corrosive chemical environment within our pool areas, we know that we'll be encouraging people to swim for longer without the risks of incurring asthma or skin or eye conditions. So why a Passivhaus leisure centre? Well, we believe all buildings, not just leisure centres, should be enjoyed and cherished. So it's not just about the physical space or what activities that take place in those buildings, and it's not all about energy saving or carbon saving. We want to create spaces, and we've done this within our Passivhaus homes, that people experience and really enjoy and have the health benefits from it. So people are happy. And we know from Passivhaus that it's much more than an energy standard. It's all about quality and comfort. And as the founder of Patagonia, the leisure wear, has said, quality is the best business plan. And we have certainly proved over the last decade that we at Exeter have been developing Passivhaus buildings, that by adopting a quality build standard, we do deliver much better business plans and value for money for the public purse. Thank you for your time this morning. I'm sorry it's been a bit short and sweet. I'll be very happy to speak with you after the event. Thank you.